Levi here, and welcome to the channel. Got some exciting moves for you today. Today we are dealing with hip rotators. So in this video we're specifically addressing an excessive external hip rotation, which visually you'll see from the knee being out. So the concept behind this particular video is bringing neutrality to an external hip rotator. And what I mean is where we want it to live is really with your knee looking forward. Now, quick tip, pro tip, is most people when they're looking down, they're judging rotation based off of where their toe is pointing, which we will get into when we're looking at the alignment of the shin from the knee or the toe from the knee. But for this video, we're really looking at the alignment of what the knee says about the hip. So don't think about your feet right now so much, think about the knee. So in the self-assessment, what I want you to do is stand in front of a mirror, or to get a friend, family member, someone who can give you this feedback. I want you to just march it out, let your body relax, whatever feels neutral without fixing it. And then take a look at what your knees are saying. So what mine are saying is barely this knee is looking outwards a little bit. This one even slightly less. This one is almost neutral. And so this move for me is good self-care. For a lot of you, you might notice it's going to be a bit more easy to spot. What we're looking for is this middle, or the kneecap. If you were to draw a line right in the middle, wherever it's flat, imagine that there's a laser projecting forward. Where is that pointing? Is it pointing out, away from you? If so, then this is the appropriate stretch for you to do. If for some reason they're pointing inwards, which is also a common pattern, you do not need this video. Jump ahead to the next video. That one is going to be called Bringing Neutrality to Internal Hip Rotators. So jump ahead to that one because that's the one you need. But for those of you who are facing out, let's dive in a little bit more. If you have one that's facing forward and one that's facing out, you're only going to do the self-care for the one that's facing out. So I'll show you those options as we go. So let's dive in. We're going to go to the floor. And I'm going to show you from a couple different angles. I'll show you from the side so you can see what my torso is doing. And then I'll turn facing my feet and knees at you so you can kind of see the dynamics going on there. I might even have a view from above for some of it. So if you have both knees facing out, what I want you to do is do a wide stance with your feet flat on the ground, and then collapse your knees in. Now what we're doing is we're giving you a few points of reference. So in order to do this effectively, I want to make sure that your knees are touching and your feet are flat. So if you find that your knees can't quite touch, that's okay, just bring your feet together until they do. And if you find that your feet are trying to lift on the sides, that's okay, crawl them in a little bit till they're flat. So once you find your spot, that's our starting point. This is going to be the same as the hip bridge that we've done in the past. And if you haven't seen that one, go look for that video. But what I'm going to have you do is you're going to lift your hips to the ceiling while you press your legs out. You should feel like an engagement happening here. And then think about your hips like a bucket of water, and you're still spilling that water out the back of your bucket. So as you breathe in, hips out. As you breathe out, collapse everything in, let your knees come together, and then find your new point. You most likely will find you can crawl your feet out a little bit and knees can touch more. What that will tell you is you've already created a change. You've already allowed some neutrality to happen because your thigh or your femur can now essentially rotate in more, which is a good sign. So let's do it again. You're gonna lift here, you're gonna pull out here. You can imagine like you have a big rubber band around your thighs and you're trying to stretch it. So here we go. Nice thing about that is I gained a little more ground because I was able to put my knees together and my feet further apart. The nice thing too is I feel my lower back really relaxing more and more as I progress through these. So I'd encourage you to do anywhere between 3 and 10 of those until you feel good engagement here, and a good sinking down, and you're able to get your feet further apart and your knees closer together. And then just walk it out, kind of get in touch with your body. Remember, I like doing the assessment before and after so that you can prove to yourself if this is a valuable movement for you. So let's look. It's coming in a bit. I could still use some more, so that will continue to be a self-care that I engage. But it's better if I'm checking into my body. I feel not only a bit more up in my posture, a bit more relaxed, abdomen a bit more engaged, which are all indicators that my body's liking this. So if you like this, leave a comment. If you have questions, leave a comment, because I really want to engage with you on this. We're going to go into the next video, which is what to do if your knees are together. Now, if you do not have knees pointing inward, feel free to skip that video. Otherwise,